cosmos bright. Stars and ships take flight tonight. In the void where dreams do play, soul citizens lead the way. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed. Squadrons call on the horizon. Battles fought, our hearts aren't frightened. In our ships we face the dawn. Soul citizens carry on. Oh, planets spin and light years fly. Boundless space where hopes reside. Motherhood in every star. Soul citizens, here we are. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed.
Oh my goodness. Greetings. Oh my God. Greetings. Welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I am GriffinGamingRPG, and I'm here with the voice of my good friend, FC Fastcart. How are you, my friend?
I'm nowhere. That's how I am.
I know.
Oh, there I am.
There you are. I know. You guys will have to forgive me. I won't say forgive us. We just got finished recording our episode of the producers for the month of September, and we were on a different setup, and so I switched over and forgot to switch the cameras over to the new setup. So Fastcart is here now. How are you, my friend?
It's good to be here.
Yes, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're here. I know everybody's like, oh my God, Griff's on here by himself again. Oh my God. No, I'm glad you're here with me. Welcome everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate you being here with us. Today is August the 31st, last day of August. We're going to go into September. Fastcart, where does the time go, my friend? Where does it go?
Hey, time is slow when you're young, but fast when you're old.
I
So figure that
know,
out.
it's crazy, right? I mean, it's crazy to think it's August already.
There was a research done actually that said like for a 5-year-old, time is like 3 times slow. Like
Really?
an hour feels like 3 hours to them.
You know, that's probably true, because I remember when summer break used to come around, you know, when you got out of school, it felt like summer lasted forever, and now it feels like summer
Forever.
just
Yeah.
flies by now.
That's
It's like, what
like
the heck?
yeah, especially like 3 months feels like 9 months for a 5-year-old. So
Yeah.
but then as you get older, you gain more experience, you gain more time. Time starts to shrink. And so I want to say like it felt to me like when I was in my 20s, time felt one to one.
Yeah.
Not in my 50s, time
Forget it.
snapped like a
Yeah.
fast.
But wait till you get to your 60s, bro.
Oh
So,
boy. Oh
so
boy.
speed up even more. Well, anyway, other than listening to two old guys talk, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you as always. Let's talk about what's going on. Oh, let me say this first. As you guys know, last week we introduced our new format for the show. If you weren't here last week, if you got here late last week, we have kind of combined some of the elements from our Thursday Soul Talk show and our Saturday Soul Voices show, where we open up in the beginning with just the first half, not even the first half, the first anywhere from 15 to 25, maybe 30 minutes of talking about what's going on in the Star Citizen community. And we call it Star Citizen This Week instead of This Week in Star Citizen. So we're just going to touch on a few items just to kind of recap some things for those of you who may have missed it, or if you just want to hear our opinions and thoughts on those topics. And then after that, we're going to jump into our topic today, which is update 4.3. We're going to be kind of doing just a very overview of what we're looking for, what we've received, and what's even going to be coming in update 4.3.1. So we're going to do that. So hang around for us. Thank you guys for being here as always. Shout outs to some of the folks out there in the chat. I see the Prisoner is here. CC is here. Creator. Akuma, good to see you. I hope you are doing well. Doing a plug for Hurston Dynamics. Sandgroper, good to see you out there as well. Vavrick, as always, they're supporting us. And Paglamia, always here as well. Thank you. Good to see you. Mad Style, there's the infamous Mad Style. Good to see you, Mad Style. Hope you are doing well. Okay, let's see. We've got yeah, that's it. Thank you. And those of you over in our YouTube, thank you. I see the Prisoners over in there too, in YouTube as well. So thank you guys for being here. Fastcart, we kind of had an interesting week this week with some things that have popped up. I know we are picking up on part 2. We're in part 2, but we're in the next stage of the ship showdown. For this week, and we're kind of resolving our winners. They went into this whole thing of the, what they call it, not the Great 8. What did they call it? The something 8. I forget what they called it.
Final. Well, I'll look it up.
There's some term that they called. Y'all know what we're talking about. No, it's called the something 8. But y'all know what we're talking about for the free fly, right? They allowed for 8 of the ships to be available to folks to be able to fly them. And those ships are the ships that you guys see on the screen right now: the Asgard, the Ursa Medevac, the Razor, the Gladiator, the Zeus ES, the Vulture, the Prowler Utility, and even the Polaris. You said the Hateful 8, the Prisoner, the Hateful 8.
That's what I'm trying to think of. I tried to think of the Hateful 8, but I couldn't think of the Hateful. Yeah,
the Hateful 8, the Hateful 8. FC, you know, is this have they put out the 8 ships before? It was always 8 people that they let fly?
They always thought it was 16, then 8, then 4. Then
no, but I'm talking about the ones that they let people fly, though, or the free fly.
Yeah.
It's always 8. Okay.
I don't know about always, but it has been 8 for the last few times.
Last couple times? Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, you know, I don't pay attention because I never take advantage of that stuff when it comes around. I'm like, okay, whatever. If I don't have it, I probably don't want it.
Differently this time. You have to actually click on a button, you know, in order to get access this year. So people have missed that because normally they just put it out and everyone can access it. But this time you got to jump through a couple of hoops in order to get access to it.
Gotcha.
It's not that bad.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we are down to the final 4, and we know that these 4 are the 4 that are going to ultimately get a ship showdown paint when IAE comes out. We've got the Asgard, the Gladiator, the Zeus ES, and the Polaris. So since next week, you know, this is going to be all wound down by the time we get there. Let me get your predictions here, Fastcart. So it's going to be the Asgard against the Gladiator. If you had to pick between those two, which one do you think would be the next ones for the finals? This is the semifinals.
Well, we already kind of know, but
no, I'm asking you. Which one do you think is going to be, Asgard or the Gladiator?
The Asgard.
Now, is that your vote, or do you think that's the community vote?
The community vote is Asgard. I voted for the Gladiator because it's a dark horse, the underdog.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to go all the way, but I wanted to show some support because it's an old ship.
Okay.
There's some love.
All right. So your vote is the Gladiator, but your sentiment is that the community is going to go with Asgard, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Right. Okay. All right. And then between the Zeus ES and the Polaris, what do you think?
I voted. I wanted the Zeus ES because that's the underdog. But Polaris is going to win overwhelmingly.
Okay. So your vote is for the Zeus, but do you think the community is going to go with the Polaris? Okay. So I'm going to probably agree with you on all of your assessments on that. I think if the Zeus wins, it'll be a huge upset. I think the people will flip their lids. I don't think with the Gladiator and Asgard they'll flip their lids, but I think they will flip their lids if the Polaris doesn't win against the Zeus. And then let me ask you for the next step after that. If it's between the Asgard, okay, let's do the underdogs. If the Gladiator goes against the Zeus ES, which one do you think would win?
I would think the Zeus would win between those two.
And because of?
It's more popular if more people know about it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, and then if the Asgard goes against the Polaris,
That's going to be tough. I'm thinking it'll be Polaris, but it might might be close.
Okay, okay. Do you think they'll both? Do you think they'll be close no matter what for the number one spot, or do you think that there'll be a big gap?
No, I think it'll be close, but I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm of two minds of that. The Asgard is cheaper, so most people own it.
Right.
But more people probably think the Polaris is more useful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
More powerful.
Okay.
But I think it'll be closer.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've got a weird feeling about those ships too. I know there's a lot of people who, like you said, they more Asgards maybe out. I don't know. It's hard to say. Would there be more Asgards than Polarises? Because Asgard's a fairly new ship, and I know there are people that have them, but I don't hear people talking about it a lot. What I do see is even if people don't own a Polaris, they like getting on people's Polarises, right?
Right.
So it's even if you don't own one, people like it. I don't hear people saying, "Oh, let's go jump in the Asgard." You know, I do hear people saying, "Oh, let's go jump in the Polaris," right? So yeah, it's a tough one. I would love to see the Asgard win, but I agree with you. I think the Polaris. I think the Polaris is going to get it.
I mean, the other thing, the Polaris it's a $975 ship too, so it had that going against it. But like you said, people who own it and people who don't own it can jump on other people's ship.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the prisoner says, I really like the Asgard after using it in the free fly. And I think that's an interesting point, FC, that once people get to fly some ships that maybe they don't own, that they might feel a little differently about them, you know, once they try them out. You know what I mean? Which is actually a kind of a cool marketing thing. I mean, even from whether people want to get the ship or not, but it's still just kind of a cool thing to expose people to some ships that maybe they wouldn't fly. I know we do it at IAE, but I think during the showdown, you could still get people who never took the Asgard out for a flight, you know, and now they get a chance to do it. I like the Asgard a lot. You remember when IE came around last year, I told you that's the ship I was waiting on. It was like the end of the week, but I was like, nah, I'm waiting to hear about that Asgard. I don't care about all these other ships. I want to see the Asgard. And I'm glad I did pick that one up. I like that one a lot. Okay.
I'm thinking I might have to get a Gladiator to put in my hangar for when the paint comes out. Because even though I don't own one or plan to use one, I do want that skin no matter what it looks like. It could be ugly. Yeah. It could be ugly, but I still want the Gladiator skin because it's such a classic. And yeah.
Yeah, I know you. That's the completionist in you. You have that skin just in case.
That's the Gladiator though. The other stuff, no, not so much.
Yeah, but you know the other factor is that you know the Gladiator is one of those ships that you can always get in the game later on if you want to. You know, but yeah, you got to have that. For those of you who don't know, if you want a skin for something, you do have to have the ship. By the way, there was an interesting question that came up on Spectrum. Someone asked about the Zeuses. They said that if you have a Zeus MR or a Zeus CL, will you get the skin? And the answer from CIG was no, that is not the case. Recon Rod, thank you for that follow. Thank you. Appreciate that. Uh-oh, we got double bells coming up. I was working on the new bell stuff. I forgot to disable the old one. Oh my God, we're going to have two things popping up all the time. I'll have to fix that later. But yeah, by the way, you have to have an ES to get the skin. If you have an MR or a CL, you will not get the skin. So just keep that in mind. Don't be upset and say, why didn't they give me the skin? They said you have to have the ES in order to get it. You can always do like fastcart. Just get the ES and get rid of it later if you want to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can just sees you up to use a LCI token that you're not using. Sees you it up to whatever the UCS, and then once you get that skin in your hangar, you melt it and we buy back the LCI token using RSI credit. So,
there you go. That's
how I do it.
Yep. Let me see which one of these things I need to disconnect.
There's no way I'm getting a Polaris just for the skin.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Okay. That's fair enough. Okay. So that's the ship showdown. So you guys make sure you vote. If you haven't voted, don't forget to vote. The next one is a different thing. This popped up in the community area. I was unaware of this. There was an event called the Industry and Trading Expo 2955, the ITE photo show. And what it said was, it was one of this week's standout moments was the Industry and Trade Expo 2955, which brought together more than 600 players for a massive in-game gathering. On August 23rd, 25 of our industry and 25 our industry and trade expo took place in Loreville. Check the album out on the community hub and keep an eye out for a full video recap, which will be hitting YouTube soon. Were you aware of this event? Because I hadn't heard.
I heard about it,
thing.
but I forgot about it.
Okay. Yeah,
I
missed it.
And then I forgot about it.
Yeah, I missed it. And it looked pretty cool. There is a photo on the community hub. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it, take a look at it. And again, maybe some of you all got a chance to participate in it, but I totally missed this one. So congratulations to them for pulling off a nice in-game event like this. It sounds pretty cool. Industry and Trading Expo. We'll have to keep an eye open for the ITE next time, and maybe we'll get a chance to participate in that because it sounded pretty cool. Okay. And last but not least, FC, the infamous one. The sneak peek for this week. Sneak peek for this week. You got any predictions? You got any predictions for that?
Apollo. Med Bay.
The Apollo. I figured that was the Orion. What do you mean Apollo? What are you talking about? Yeah, I agree with you. That is the Apollo.
You had me going there for a moment. Like, wait,
what? No. So let me ask you a question. There's been a lot of conversation about medical gameplay, right? Ever since CIG had their last SCL, there's been a lot of conversation about medical gameplay. Earlier this year, there was a lot of conversation about medical gameplay because a lot of it got reduced, right? There was a lot of stuff that got taken away. And as we always tell people, just give it time, just give it time. Things will change and you'll see where they're going. And do you think that this might be that time where we're going to see some new implementations for medical? Or do you think medical is going to stay the same? They're just introducing a ship that's going to be kind of doing what we've been doing so far?
I believe there's going to be some kind of iteration. I don't know how big or how lasting it'll be, but yeah, I think there'll be some kind of change.
Okay. I know we always, I know each year we always do our right before CitizenCon show to talk about what we would like to see and what we're hoping to see. And I can say this now a little early that I'm hoping that one of the reasons why the Apollo is coming out now, and obviously there are things like the regen crisis and stuff that we're doing in the game right now, but I'm hoping that this is also going to be a continuing bridge as we go on to CitizenCon, right? That maybe we will start to see what CIG wants to implement in the area of medical gameplay in the game. So the fact that they've implemented not only this ship, but the bays that are going to be included and all that other stuff might be kind of giving us, and the regen crisis, right, might be starting to show us the direction of even more, as CIG talked about this year, Death of the Spaceman being fleshed out even more. So I'm looking forward to both the ship being released. For those of you who own Apollos, I don't own one. Congratulations to you. Yeah, congratulations to you. But I'm looking forward to seeing that ship in the game and definitely seeing gameplay introduced. Yeah.
I do have a question for you. What do you think of the color scheme, the blue and the white? Because it seems like Microtech for me.
Inside, that's just that interior. I don't know if that's the same interior on both ships or if one looks one way and other one looks the other way. It's not enough there for me to gauge very much on that. Yeah, okay. I mean, well, not to be funny, that if you look in the RSI ship, the ES, I think it's similar, isn't it? Don't they have something similar scheme? That isn't that part of the RSI interior scheme? We need Serious Fun here because he'd be able to spot it out right away. But
yeah, I have constellations and.
No. I mean newer. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back. For some reason or other, it's resonating with me with the Zeus, but I could be wrong. You can see the lines of the design looks a little Zeus-ish back there in the back, but not Zeus, is RSI-ish. But the color scheme, I don't know. I hadn't given much thought to it. The blue and the white, But could be Crusader, could be Microtech for some people. I don't really associate the colors to the sounds anymore.
The only RSI ship vehicle I have right now is the Lynx until I get the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So that's the only, out of 23 ships, I only have the Lynx. So,
yeah. Citizen Joel says, I wish it was kind of a little bit more white. I get that. I get that feeling like when you go on the Carrack and stuff, it's a little bit more that clean look versus a paint look. That could be just Yeah, I don't know. There's that blue is in both rooms. I'm seeing it's in the room and out in the hallway. So it says Med Bay 1, and that looks like that is a Type 1 medical bay because it's got the big circular MRI looking thing in there versus the level 2 bed. So it's going to be really interesting to see what those layouts look like when they get the Type 1, Type 2, Type 3 beds in there. But that's Med Bay 1, and I'm assuming that Med Bay 2 is across the hall. So let's see what it looks like. I'm excited to see how this is all going to flesh out later on, and I'm ready for them to implement the
death. Went blue. I was expecting white or red for medical, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, red doesn't always mean emergency. You know what I mean? As long as they don't put that ugly tan in there, they be putting in some hospitals, like, some boring color. But anyway, that's a sneak peek for this week. So, but once again, for those of you Apollo owners, I know you're excited. The next month, sometime, I think it's during the month of September, they're looking to drop that ship. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. Okie dokie, FC, if you are ready, I am ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Let me hit the right button here and go to the right channel and make sure that we're all set to go. All right. I gotta put the FC back in again because we're on a different channel. Sorry about that. Gotta put them in one more time. Actually, I gotta put them in at the end too. So let me drop them in here. We can't do this without FC. Right there. All right. All right, my friend.
And I poof back.
Yeah, poof. Yeah, I know. Okay. Today our show is update 4.3, and you guys know whenever we have a drop, we try to kind of cover what's going on. But because the drops have been happening so frequently, almost monthly,
right.
We've been kind of not doing them at every one of the update patches. But 4.3 was definitely a large enough step for us to have a show on this topic. So if you want to follow on, I know we can put the link in for you guys. We're just basically following the roadmap today and just going down the list of items that are there. So you guys can follow along with us. If you can't read the print, it's understandable because it's going to be kind of small. But we're going to kind of go through these one by one. And I think the first category that CIG starts out with is AI. It's interesting, Fastcart, the fact that the term AI means a lot of things to a lot of people these days. And we know that even CIG has hired some people in the areas of AI to come on board. Some people wonder if it's AI in relation to NPC stuff, if it's AI in relation to just general intelligence in the game. I don't really know completely what those areas are, but this does give us some hints here. And I think that this in particular, I remember we saw this, they've talked about it before, but we saw this actually working last year at CitizenCon when they showed the space stations. Do you remember that?
I don't recall. I believe you, but I don't recall.
Remember there was a sequence when they were breaking into the space station?
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And the guy activated the defensive capability, right? And turret was in the ceiling and turned. Okay. So here we've got AI FPS turrets. This is adding anti-personnel turrets for players to avoid or destroy, providing additional PvE challenges. There are places in the game where these exist. I know one of them is when you're trying to exit prison. When you're walking to the elevator, there is a turret and a camera right as you're walking to the elevator. And I always used to say, man, they should make it so that if you don't have your papers to leave and you walk out here, you get shot.
Hey, I want to add some of those bad boys to my banning regimen.
Oh my God! Yeah,
you act up. You act up. Yeah, you mess around and find out.
Yeah. So we haven't really had FPS turrets, right? I mean, we've had guards and things like that, right, and enemies. But where do you think they might implement putting turrets like this that players will now? Because like right now, you can go to a bunker, right? And even though there have been the ground turrets, they've only been hitting ships, right? Shooting ships. You can run up to them and stuff. You think they're going to start putting these down at those locations, at distribution centers and places like that now?
Yeah, I think it'll be like tripwires, where you see them and then you destroy them, or sneak around them somehow. Yeah, I think it'll be like tripwires that we have in some of those places.
So, what type of weapons will we use to destroy these? You think?
I think these are like people, so you can use almost any kind of gun, except a pistol, maybe. But yeah, almost any kind of gun.
Okay, be more specific. Because any kind of gun, like what? If it's a turret, if it's turret.
Rifle, yeah.
Really?
Like
Oh my
gun,
god!
yeah.
Oh my god! You're way too nice to me. I think this needs to be hit. This needs to be hit with
put enough bullet into it.
Listen, this is a freaking turret mount. You need to either be using a grenade launcher or missile launcher or a railgun. And I'm saying that because what it does is that it forces game players to choose specific weapons if they're going to go in for certain missions, right? Because if I can use a rifle, if I can use a rifle for everything, I'll never take the other items, right? So my thing is, you got to bring the hardware to take on the hardware. You can use guns and rifles, you know what I mean, against the people and the enemies. But if this place has got, turrets, like right now, I mean, technically you could shoot forever. You go through a ton of ammo to blow up a ground turret. But, if you've got a grenade launcher or you've got a rail gun, 2 hits, 3 hits, boom, it's gone, right? So that's why I want this to be tough.
A little bit. I think a sniper rifle.
Nah,
minimum. Sniper rifle should be able to take that out.
That's fair. I still think that's too weak. The sniper rifle is a 50, even if it's a 50 millimeter projectile. This is a turret. I mean, this is a tank. To me, it needs to be stronger.
I remember from the CitizenCon demo, it's like something to drop down. It's not that big.
What do you mean by not that big? What's not that big?
It's not that big. I don't think it'll have unless it has its own shield or something. I don't recall that. So I don't think it'll be that tough.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to disagree. Yeah. But I want this thing to be formidable. If you have this, you won't see these everywhere as far as I'm concerned. You'll see these in places that want to be protected. And if somebody can go in with a sniper rifle and do 2 pops on it or 3 pops on it and they blow it up, that's no energy to me. I really would love to see it be a heavier armored. If it's not, I would like for it to be heavily more armored than that. But if it is, and it may be in the beginning, right? Because in the everything kind of ain't balanced anyway, But I hope it's a little bit tougher.
All I'm gonna say is, you come on my buddy mission, you have a sniper rifle. I'm expecting trouble because I know what you're up to. So just letting you all know, you're on notice.
You better worry about somebody coming up. Well, okay, but see, that's the reason why you shouldn't want a sniper rifle. Just because of that reason, you should want somebody to have to walk on with a grenade launcher. And okay, I know why you're here.
Come on with a grenade launcher. You're not allowed on the back. My brother
There you go. Okay. So anyway, I'm looking forward to these being put in, whether they're at bunkers or distribution centers or wherever. I really hope that they'll put stuff in like this. Yeah, the prisoner says, what if they're hackable? That would be pretty cool, right? If you can get to a control panel and shut them down, or just shut them down, just to be able to shut them down. Okay. You know what I mean? Because maybe you don't have that rocket launch because you want to have options, and maybe you've got to fight your way to a control panel to shut them down so that other people can come in. Right? There's a lot of covert stuff that you could work into something like this, which would be interesting. But yeah, I don't. Go ahead.
You can shut them down, but it's only temporary, like 5 minutes. So you gotta
on a timer,
back and it might be active
on a timer.
You forgot about it, and it kills you.
Yeah, on a timer. A timer would be cool. I'll take a timer. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next under item, AI, and that was NPC dropships. You want to read that one? NPC dropships.
Introducing dropships in Pyro, defending outposts and deploying reinforcement when the local population is attacked.
Okay. Do you remember when they used to do dropships in the game? Were you ever doing anything where dropships came in the past?
No.
Okay. So what would happen? What would happen would be you'd go do a mission, and these weren't usually at bunkers. These would be like you'd go to a place where some criminals were hiding out or where their hideout was, and you'd go in, and when it worked right, you didn't know when they would show up. It's just that once you arrived, a timer would kick in, and at some point, a Cuddy Black or something would come in with some people in the back of it. And while you were fighting your original crew, this other group would show up, and then you'd have to deal with them as well. But it was buggy. A lot of times the ship would come in. Now the ship would attack you, or the ship would come in and maybe blow up your ship. But the 4 or 5 NPCs that were in the back quite often would get stuck, or they wouldn't come out. Every once in a while it would work and they'd come out. But a lot of times they wouldn't, right? And all you had to do is go to the back of the Cuddy and just kind of throw a grenade in there, shoot everybody, and that was it. But they had started doing this quite a while ago. We're trying to work that out. And this is a good example of some of those things that comes into the game for a while where they're testing it and then it goes away. and then later on they refine it and bring it back. So here we have missions in Pyro. We've actually had even these missions in Stanton where you'll go to a settlement and they will say, kill the enemies, and there's civilians there. And then there are times when people just go to a settlement and just start killing everybody and nothing happens, right? There's no repercussions to doing that. Well, here they're saying that if you start killing the local population, reinforcements will show up, right? So once you start killing folks who are farmers or whatever, or even if it's bad guys, if you start killing the people at that settlement, it will trigger this reaction to take place, which I think is cool. All right, I think it brings a little bit more challenge than just going in and spraying the place and taking everything, right? You know, if you do that, you start shooting, you know, there's a certain amount of time before the cavalry is going to start showing up. All right. So that's what the new thing is going to be. Now, it's interesting that they're only doing it in Pyro. Any thoughts on that?
I think Pyro has a whole lot of gangs and bands, and so I can see them, you know, like maybe each dropship, or not each dropship, but certain dropships have a certain color scheme, so you know which group is coming after you or whatever. Yeah, so,
that's a good point. In Pyro, you do have the gang rivalries, right? You've got the Citizens for Prosperity, the Headhunters. And so like right now, if I'm with Citizens of Prosperity, if I go to a Headhunter's place, I have a negative reputation with them. They will shoot at me, right? If I go in there. But you know, once I start attacking them, you know, if I start, you know, whatever the case may be, if I know that I start shooting their people, and I know that once I do that, there's a good possibility that some reinforcements are going to show up, right? That's going to be cool. Because right now the reinforcements will maybe come out of spawn closets, but that gets to be a bit immersion breaking. You know what I mean? It's like, what, is everybody down in the basement? Is everybody in the basement and they all start coming out of the basement? No. But to have a ship come flying
coming out of the woodworks.
Exactly. You know,
literally.
Yeah, I think this adds to the immersion a little bit more if they start doing that, which would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, but you know that they're just on that dropship T-posing.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? Let me give you another example of why I say something like this is good. Remember, we were talking about bringing the right tool for the right job, right? So, you know, maybe there'll be somebody in your team when you go down to a planet. You know, everybody can have their role. You've got the combat medic, but maybe now there's that person that you have that does carry the rocket launcher or the rail gun, right? So that in case you see this ship coming in, right, you can maybe get some shots in on it before it lands. But if you don't have that weapon, well, now you know that ship's going to be landing in a couple seconds, and, you know, we're going to have another firefight on our hands in a couple seconds. So I like the fact that they're introducing a different level of, you know, of engagement that can happen here, you know, based on, you know, our actions, basically, right? Based on our action. Okay. All right. Let's hit that next one. And this gets into characters. We saw a little bit of this at CitizenCon, and this has been something that's been really popular since they've introduced the Onyx sights. The sniper light armor Geist, they call it the Geist armor, adding a new sniper light armor Geist specialized in stealth gameplay with high mobility. Have you seen this armor? Have you used this armor? Have you got this armor at all?
I do not own it, do not have it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay.
I mean, I've seen pictures of it.
No, I mean in game. I mean in game. Have you seen it? Okay, you haven't seen it yet in game.
No,
okay.
Not in game. No.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people walking around with. I think they have the Wicklow one because it's white, which is the next one. I could just combine these two together, but I have seen some people with it. I don't know if any of the. Hey, Kimmy's here. Kimmy says he's got one. Okay. Hey, Kimmy.
Hey, Kimmy.
Are the features of this armor? Are the features of this armor built in? And what I mean by that is that they say that it's lighter. Does it work, or is it just they don't have the features in, but the armor's in? Captain Jones says he's got them all.
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious to know if the actual features of this armor are there. Stealth gameplay with high mobility, and I don't know. The armor is in so far. Yeah, I know the armor is, but I mean, but is it? It says high mobility. Do you feel like it? Do you feel like it? Yeah. Do you feel like it? Like when you're running in it, you actually feel like you're moving at a good pace, or does it kind of feel like maybe medium armor? It doesn't feel like there's any difference in it. I'm kind of curious. That's kind of what I was kind of curious about. And there is this other one, fastcart. This is the one that I've seen people running around in. the special light armor that you only get from Wickelow's Emporium. Okay, Kimmy says, yeah, it's very light in movement. Okay, it's light armor. It works like light armor. Danger Hobo says, okay, so you guys are right. It is light armor. Okay, as long as it doesn't like feel like heavy armor. I just want to know, do you notice a difference in it? Okay. I'm wondering if it gives the protection. You haven't seen that one?
No, I haven't seen this, and it looks okay.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting looking armor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Some of the color scheme for Wicklow stuff, I would definitely want.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of them, but some of the ship skins I do want. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, you're right, Kimmy, about the FPS armor thing when it comes up. Yep, and I think that is what they're going to be looking for. I know that we don't have the scanning yet, but it is interesting to see if it's being added and some of the features are there. So that's pretty cool. That's very cool. It's an interesting armor. And I think they have different ones too, because remember there was one that they put out, they showed us, and it's got the little gold flake stuff on it. I forget what they call that one.
Yeah. That was the Aries one, right?
Yeah, we go with the Aries sail. Yeah, with the sail and the Aries paint. Yeah. Yep.
Hold on, I can find that one.
I forget what they call it. Y'all know what we're talking about, the gold and black one, which is kind of cool. Okay. Okay, that's that. Why don't you read the?
It's called the Golden Blossom.
Golden Blossom. There we go. Thank you. The Golden Blossom one. Okay. So that covers the Snight light armor and the Wicklow light armor. Why don't you hit that next one for us here?
ASD light armor's combat stealth suit. Adding the ASD light combat stealth suit, a rare loot that can be found within the Onyx facilities.
Okay. So this one I have not seen because you can only get it in the Onyx facilities. I know Captain Jones says he has all of them. Right. I've only seen the Wicklow one, and I haven't seen the Geist one yet. So, but these are all light armors that have been added. It's been interesting to see the craze for armors. You know what I mean? With the resource drive and everything. Everybody's trying to get the armors, you know. I'm so surprised. I'm almost as surprised about armors as I am about paints. You know, that people really want all the paints, right? And people want all the armors.
I'm a skin and paint person. The armor is hit and miss. Yeah, there's only been a few armor, like the Red Alert one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So I got those.
Mm-hmm.
But other stuff, I have like 23 different 23 different weapons in my hanger now. So it's like ridiculous how many stuff I got.
I just started.
I actually went through it and did a count and put it in my spreadsheet. So yeah, that's how I know.
So you got 23 different types of weapons, or 23 weapons? Which one?
23 weapons, but different type. Yeah, 23 weapons.
Oh God, you're doing good, buddy. Trust me, you're doing way good. I've got 23 types of weapons. This is the weapons, which is great. I literally started selling weapons the other day because there's some weapons I never use. I looted them, and it's like I don't even use this thing. Let me sell this and get some money for it. You know? Okay, that's very cool. The next one up is new hairstyles. They were adding 3 new additional hairstyles. I know in the last patch they added 4 new hairstyles, and this time they're adding 3 more new hairstyles, 2 for men and 1 for women. And CIG had talked about at CitizenCon that they were going to start bringing in some more, for lack of a better term, normal hairstyles. A lot of the earlier ones were very exotic and very different. Yeah, they were trying to bring it. Well, I say more traditional, maybe traditional, I should say is the word I should say. So they have been doing that. I'm sure they're still going to come up with some other stuff that's going to be pretty out there, but it is nice to see that they're balancing it out. Because sometimes you do feel like you're going to a punk concert, depending on your hair all the time. What do you think about some of these styles?
I'm glad that they get going away from the balding one that we had last time. I had too close to home. These one look like especially the top left. That one looked like a full head of hair.
Yep.
He started to try to balance it out a little bit. They got one that had too little hair and one had too much hair. So yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not going to use any of these, but yeah, they're pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. There's one feature in relation to hair that I hope CIG is able to implement. I'm not saying that they're doing this, y'all, so don't think I heard something. I'm just saying this is something I hope they're able to do. And that is, once you find a hairstyle, being able to adjust its length. That's something I would love for them to either, just extend it a little more or shorten it a little bit more, just so you can get a little bit more uniqueness so that, you know, because sometimes you could have somebody who's the same haircut, but everything is the same about it. Maybe the color's different, but the length and everything is the same. I would love for like beards, for example. I would love to be able to either pull your beard in a little bit more or extend it a little bit more. You know what I mean? Just a little bit, just so there's a little bit of room for variation, that everything's not locked, you know.
I've always thought that they're doing wrong because they're letting people have multicolored hair and adjusting them that way. I don't think I've seen that in other games.
Yeah, I mean, right. They've been able to change the dye structure and everything, which is kind of similar to that because it's just the dye. I know they have to be careful about clipping when you start extending stuff because stuff starts to, you know, break through.
That's true.
But I would love that even if you could just retract it some, that you just have some room. You know, because some of the hair does come down to shoulder, and it would be kind of cool if I said, hey, I want to bring it up to here, right? And that's all I want to do. I get you don't want to go through the shoulder or anything like that. I get that. But that's the only thing I would love to see them do. Beyond that, I'm cool with what they've done. Mm-hmm.
One day they'll add the Princess Leia button. No, they got shoot for that.
Man, well, yeah, well, God forbid. God forbid. All right. And we told you guys that we were just going to talk about what's going on in 4.3, but we're also going to talk about 3.1 as well. They did show a couple other heads that they're looking to do. They're adding, there's 2 new hairstyles that'll be coming, and these 2 are for men. CIG, please don't forget the women. That's all I'm gonna say. Please don't forget the women. You know, it's great that we're getting. I love the fact when you do 8 men, 8 women, 8 men. But please, please, please keep the women going. All right. But this is just for and this is just for now, right? This is tentative. They may put some more stuff in later, but for right now, this is what they've shown us so far. Okay. And those look a little bit more traditional. That bottom one looks more like almost like a marine cut, a little bit, something like that. It does,
yeah,
you know, a little bit, you know. But those are pretty traditional looks. They like nice, clean looks that they'll add for the gentleman, which is pretty cool.
I'm getting serious drill sergeant vibe from those.
Yeah. And why don't you go ahead and read this very last one here?
Heavy utility armor, adding new heavy utility armor. So work in progress.
Yeah. What do you think that is? What do you think utility armor? Yeah. What do you think that is?
For this one, maybe because we have a whole bunch of light armor, especially for toxic environment, radiation environment. Those are light or maybe medium. Heavy utility armor, maybe something. Trying to think. I can't. I need time for this one. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking that utility is just that. It's going to be some armor that you have to go in and do some type of work in, but you still need protection, right? You notice that they've been giving us this weird stuff. Like, okay, like for the longest time, we had things like the Novikov and stuff, but that was just about temperature, right? Being in an atmosphere, you know, whatever the climate issues are, cold or hot. Then we got like the toxic suit, right? For in case there's some type of spill or something, right? And then we got the radiation one, right? And we got the radiation one that came up. And then recently we got the fire one, right? We got the ASD one with the overhead and the big apron and the fire retardant suit. So, you know, but they don't give you any protection if you have to work in some type of hostile environment, bad environment. I don't know. So I'm hoping that this is going to be something that somebody who needs to go in, like I just recently did the repair missions the other day. I never got a chance to do the repair missions. I'm sure there are going to be some cases where with these new big distribution centers and these locations where there may be some places where you have to go in and it's very dangerous, but you've got to go in and do work. This is moving beyond combat. Now, it could be utility in relation to combat too. It really could be. But I'm hoping it's something like that. Mm-hmm.
I can see them making acid resistant armor, but it's heavy.
Could be. Yeah, could be. You know, I'm just using that word utility, that this is somebody who's got some type of tools or equipment or something, but they need some type of protection. Now, again, is that heavy because of combat protection or heavy because of atmospheric conditions? You know, really don't know, you know, but I am curious to see what that is. Your own, the mark, there's a big question mark.
Ooh, you just had an idea. Pressure
could be. Yeah, pressure could be. High pressure areas. Again, a lot of options, right? CIG.
Right.
they're trying to open up gameplay in other areas, right? Especially with engineering coming, right? So in light of engineering, in light of fire coming, in light of a lot of other things that they're implementing, I'm hoping it's going to open up some other new area of gameplay and not just be another armor for something that we already have in the game. At least that's what my hope is for it. Okay. All right, this next one. This one was finally, we saw this a couple of years ago, improving the reliability of the use of ladders in game, ladder improvements. This came out, fastcart, I don't know if you remember, it was in PTU. And it was buggy, but people were doing it and they were looking forward to it. Then when 4.3 came out, they pulled it. They didn't put it in, and then they came and put it in later, right? They did it in another patch. Have you tried this yet with the utility thing, like the new ladders? Have you seen what it does?
Is it on the C2 or the Hercules or something different?
It works on there too. Yeah. So some of the things, yes,
I've done it.
Yes. So some of the things you can do where before, you used to get on a ladder and you just look straight forward. And all you saw was your hands doing this. Okay. Now you can look this way. You can actually look up.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can look up and see yourself going upward. If you're on a ladder and there's room to your left and right, if you hold left, you'll actually swing this way, like as if you want to get off the ladder, or the other way, swing right. I think you can also jump onto ladders now as well, I think. Okay. And so they've kind of ironed out a lot of the problems. Before, you used to get snatched onto ladders. That doesn't happen as much. It still can. You just have to kind of be careful. And you kind of know to keep a certain proximity from ladders before you get on them.
Right.
Yeah. The prisoner says you can jump off and jump on. I have not tried to jump off yet. I have done the jump on. You're right. That does work. I have not tried to jump off of it. I'm a little paranoid about it, probably PTSD from the game, but I'll have to give that a shot, prisoner, and see how that works next time I'm on. But yeah, it's a very cool feature, and it's still got some little bit roughness to it, but you get the idea of what they're trying to do with the ladders.
It's better. Okay.
Yeah, it is better. It is better. Okay, and then last but not least, why don't you read the next one for us?
Dynamic snow. Introducing dynamic snow to select locations where snow already exists, leveraging the same environmental systems that power dynamic rain. This means snowfall will now appear based on weather conditions. Some of that rain that they done recently, not recently, some of the rain that I noticed, they done a good job of that rain. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. It'll be whiteout condition. Oh my God!
Yeah,
you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah. When they brought the snow in, I got a chance to see. This is when it first came in. I did see it about a week ago. When it first came in, it came in more like rain, like a sleet. Right. It wasn't like a snowfall. And, people barked about it, right? Oh, it doesn't look like snow. Okay. Well, we're getting precept. But it was more like a sleet when it was coming in. The last time I saw it about a week ago, I flew into an area and it seemed like it was coming down like how snow comes down. It didn't necessarily look like snow, but it came down like snow. Right. Now, mind you, it depends on one of the things that's interesting about this dynamic weather piece that they did is the closer you move into the storm, the more it, the way it comes down changes, right? So it's very light when it first starts, but as you go in deeper, it becomes more intense. It doesn't have to be necessarily a downpour, but it does adjust as you move closer and closer into the weather front. So I have not gone in someplace where there's like a heavy storm. I don't know if there is even a heavy snowstorm yet, but, I haven't flown around on Microtech enough to try to find it. What were you going to say?
When you say it comes down like snow, what does it look like? It looks like raindrops?
It looks like, you can see it's precipitation falling. You know how you ever see like when you live in the East Coast, so you know what I'm talking about. You know how sometimes when it's starting to change to snow from rain, it's starting to get there, but it's not like snowflakes, but it's not flakes, not sleet. It's that space between sleet and snowflakes. It looks like that to me. I'm in the Midwest, y'all, so that's how I have to describe it. Okay. You're not, I'm not at the point where I feel like I'm seeing snowflakes. Okay. And again, I have not been on Microtech enough and gone through. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe tonight I'll just fly around and find some snowstorms and see how heavy it really gets. But I'm excited about this whole dynamic snow thing. There's some tie-ins to some of this too. When we were at CitizenCon last year and they talked about Genesis, right? And this goes back even further, several years ago, when they were showing us topography, remember, on planets, and showing how you could have different temperatures at different levels and how those temperatures will change, right? They'll move even on the planets, nighttime versus daytime. Weather will not be the same in certain areas. I do like the fact that you can fly over areas and find the clouds that look like they're rain clouds. And when you go there, they more than likely are rain clouds. I do like that. I just don't always feel it's this dynamic. There have been people who've told me, like, I live at Area 18. I've had people who told me, yeah, it rains at Area 18. I ain't never seen it rain at Area 18 to this day. I don't know if I'm just missing it or what, but everybody has talked about the fact that it rains. They've seen it rain at Area 18. Now, I've seen it rain. Well, if you're facing the spaceport, I've seen it rain east of Area 18 plenty of times. I have yet to see it rain at Area 18. I have never flown out of the hangar at Area 18 and it's raining outside. I don't ever remember that yet. So I'm hoping that weather is moving around. And maybe somebody can tell me if it is moving around. But
what you need a weather app. Like,
yeah, I know that can tell. Well, you know what? But you know what? To your point, there is weather in the game. If you remember, those screens that are in the cities show atmospheric conditions, weather conditions, and everything. And even your app is supposed to. So I think that eventually, that's why I was going about this whole thing about Genesis and the dynamic weather, that eventually they are going to move us to that point so that you'll know what the weather conditions are when you go somewhere, you know. Use the F key would work. Okay, yeah. Okay, Genesis is restricted. I know, Admiral. I know Genesis is restricted.
No, Admiral. I laughed.
I know.
I wanted to do it, but I've done it so many times already, so I decided not to. But someone did it in chat, so I'm happy.
Yeah, yeah. I want to go back to something here that Akuma asks. I'm sorry, I saw your question, Akuma, and I'm sorry I didn't answer it when you said it earlier. You said, do you think that CIG could implement some kind of control input that would press specifically to get onto a ladder? Or would that be worth the trouble it's worth? You know what? It's still open for development. I don't think, like all things, there's nothing that's written in stone yet or in cement. I think that if that's something that the players actually start doing, and maybe something that CIG will say, hey, this works, or we may try it and then it doesn't work and they have to pull it back some. I don't know. I haven't monkeyed with the ladders enough to, I need to do that, right? Just go into game and start monkeying around with ladders and see what all you can do and see what works and doesn't work. I know Kimmy said that he still gets sticky on them. I make a habit, like you guys know how you do the speed slide down a ladder. I just automatically hold shift down when I do it, and I don't let go until I automatically back off. I've noticed that if I don't hold it, sometimes it will kind of pull you back toward it. So it's not completely fixed. Kimmy's right. It does have a thing to it. I haven't had ladders snatching me like they used to when you walk near them and you just automatically snatch you onto them. So Coffee, good to see you. Good to see you, Coffee.
Hey, Coffee Gaming. To Akuma's point, I'm an old man. I don't need more keybinds to remember. That's just me.
Well, I will say this, though. One of the things that's nice about the ladder thing, and this is something that I think will come up in relation to animation on ships, because we talked about this last week, is the fact that you can get off of a ladder. Before, once you were in that animation, you were locked into it until you got to the top or the bottom. So I remember a couple times doing missions at the distribution centers, and guys were on the roofs across from us and they became aware of us. And I'd be on a ladder, like a real tall ladder, and I can't get off of it. You know what I mean? Either I had to speed drop down or I couldn't turn. At least now you have the option to turn. I think, can you draw a weapon when you turn, guys? Can you actually be on a ladder and draw a weapon and shoot? I think that was something that you were supposed to be able to do. I can't remember the video now. It was so long ago when they did the demonstration on the video on the ladders, but I don't know if I've never tried that anyway. No shooting yet. Okay, thanks, prisoner. All right, no shooting yet. But it would be nice to be able to know I could pull out my pistol and go pow, 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 if I need to, instead of being a sitting duck on a ladder,
I'm imagining Griffin being gangster, like holding the gun sideways like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Pow, pow, pow.
Yep. Yeah, somebody starts shooting at me, I want to be able to shoot back, That's what I want to be able to do. All right, gang. We're going to take a quick break, take our commercial break, because we're almost at the top of the hour. Thank you guys again for being here. Sirius, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. I heard it ping earlier and forgot to tell you thank you. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. Just give us a couple of minutes. We're going to do a quick commercial break just for 1 minute commercial, and then we'll be back to pick up where we left off at. So stick around.
Stay tuned, folks.
All righty then. If you are here, that means you are a subscriber, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for again, supporting us, being here with us today. Hope you guys are having a great summer as we're winding down the month of August. Next Sunday, we are doing a show called, what is the name of that show we're doing next week? I forgot the name of the show. We're doing a show called, it's called You Better Work. You Better Work. Talking about how you going to make money in Star Citizen other than missions. Are there other stuff that you're going to be able to do to do jobs? What are some other jobs that people might do that don't have nothing to do with being in the military or bounty hunting or mercenary? So that's going to be our topic for next week called You Better Work. Fastcart, anything you want to mention coming up or anything like that?
A job is nothing but work.
Yeah.
Remember more money line.
That is very, very, very true. So next week, be here for our show. You Better Work. Okay. All right. We are back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Once again, we appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys are having a great summer, great Sunday as we wrap up the month of August. And we're going to pick up where we left off at. I'm going to let Fastcart pick up on the next section. We just got finished talking about, I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about Cortec. And now we're going to talk about the thing that a lot of people have been excited about, and that has been locations. So FC, let's talk about the Onyx facilities.
Onyx facilities 4.3.0. 4.3.0 includes the research and engineering wing. The Onyx facilities are a network of abandoned research sites scattered throughout the Stanton system on every moon. While there is still lightly security in these locations, ASD has abandoned these facilities. Players and mercenary NPCs alike will be exploring the derelict associated science and development installation to recover data, solve puzzles, and uncover the mysteries within these hazardous environments.
Okay. Now, I will admit, I have not visited an Onyx facility. When CIG began this whole resource thing, right, the whole regen crisis, we didn't know that there were going to be these several chapters, right? This story that kind of grew over time. And
CIG might not have known.
Oh, they knew. Trust me, they don't make this stuff every year. I'm gonna say, yeah. So yeah, don't joke because people be thinking that stuff. Oh, they're just making this stuff up. Okay. But this regen crisis is obviously leading towards something, and CIG has even told us that the next chapter is going to be leading into something else. But one of the things that was a surprise, FC, and I don't know if you were surprised, was when they talked about how many of these facilities they dropped into the game. Originally, we heard 100, and we found out there's like 120 of these locations. Were you surprised that CIG kind of did that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because that seems like a lot, but no, because we already know there's like thousands of different points of interest in Stanton already. Stanton alone already. There's like, 4,000, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So them adding another 120. It doesn't seem like that many. It's like a drop in the bucket, but it's still like to be able to do all that. I don't know how they do it. Procedural, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And
then drop them into particular places. That seems like quite a bit of work. So I don't know how easy it is for them to do it because they showed ISC where they showed how to develop the tools and what the tool is doing, stuff like that. So maybe it's not as hard as we think it might be, or maybe it gotten easier as time went on.
Yeah, I think it's important that they did do it because you start to spread the missions out so that you don't have multiple people showing up at the same location. You know what I mean? If you've unless you design no, I don't mean like the freight elevators because that's different thing. I'm referring to the distribution centers were supposed to be designed for that type of thing, right? There's only so many of those. And they designed it so that you could have one thing going on over here, like an investigative mission, but then somebody else is doing a delivery mission, right? And then somebody else is doing a heist mission. That's designed for multiple things to possibly be happening, which also can create an opportunity for something organic to happen between those groups. But having 120 of these allows that when you go there, you're not competing against other people to do that mission that you're trying to do, right? So I'm saying I like if they're doing it somewhat for that reason, to spread people out so that you don't have everybody converging. You know what I mean? You can focus in on what that thing is you're doing and not have to worry about, there's 20 other groups here trying to do the same thing I'm doing at this particular location. right?
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm just saying, I think that if that's their thing, then I think that's a cool thing to do. I have not seen the facilities other than the trailer that they did. This last dark, what is it called? The dark, I forget what it's called.
You know, talking about
Whatever the title
dark
is for
something.
this one, yeah.
But I did it in PTU. FPS is still not my thing, but it was just interesting.
What do you think? Let me ask you this: what do you think about the design of this versus what was in 4.2 with the ASD, the first ASDs that we did, where the egg was? What do you see as far as the differences in design? And does it look like it's the same? Is it different? Seem like they've done more? What are your feelings on it too?
You don't want spoilers, right?
No. I'm just saying. I'm not asking you to tell me what it is. I'm asking how do you feel about the design differences?
I feel like it's more challenging. I feel like it's more diverse. It doesn't look all. It can be. I've only been to a few of these. I don't know how they are between different ones in the same system, but there is a difference between the new Onyx facility versus the other stuff that we had before. So I'll say that.
All right, because the ASD and the Onyx, those are two different things. Okay. Now, Danger Hobo says that they failed. He says other people are in the same Onyx facility regularly. They were supposed to be instanced. Okay, 40% of the time, other players are in the same Onyx, just my estimation. Okay, but fair enough, Danger Hobo. Even if the number's off, you're saying that you have had occasions where there are other people. Let me ask this question. Are the other people there minding their business, doing their thing, and you're doing your thing, or is there still problems with that? Like, for example, at the old ASD place, if you got there right after somebody else got there, stuff wasn't reset. So if they had opened all the safes and did everything, it kind of killed you being able to do stuff. Is that kind of the same thing at the Onyx facilities, or no?
I can answer that.
Okay.
We did have to wait because someone else, another group went in before us. We had like a 15-minute wait.
Okay, there was a cool down.
Once we got in, there were we didn't see the other group, so evidently they did what they got to do and got it. Or we killed them before and they came out there. We don't know. We did face a dead body there, but I think I don't know whether or not we killed them or they were dead already. So yeah.
Okay.
But we did face a dead body there.
Okay.
I play about it.
Okay. So Danger Hunter said that Danger Hobo said again, we're all hunting armor pieces, so there is usually some form of PvP. But then Melville has said one person shot him, but then they rezzed him and then they minded their own business. So,
Okay.
I guess you get a little bit of both. It all depends on who you run into,
Always the case.
That's true. That's it. Sometimes there are people who just, like live and let live, and then there's other people called live and let die, right? So it just depends on who you run into.
And there's other people say everybody die.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then there is a part 2, a continuation of this that CIG talks about in 4.3.1, where they say that 4.3.1 expands on the Onyx facilities with the addition of the science wing. Arkin Mailer invites players back to the network of abandoned research sites scattered across the Stanton system, hidden on nearly every moon. Though light security still lingers, the facilities have long since been abandoned by the Associated Science and Development, ASD. At the deepest point lies Dr. Jorit's lab, where the darkest revelations await. Grunge, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this, Fastcart, because again, I haven't been there, and no spoilers, please. I got the impression that this joint is creepy. Is that correct or not? Or am I reading too much into it?
It is creepy, yes. Yes, I can say yes to that.
Okay. There are some people who think that this is going to culminate with some type of... Okay, I won't even say it. Let me ask you, what do you think this is going to culminate with? As you're going through this storyline, is there anything that you think this is going to culminate with?
See, I'm still tripped out by that one trailer with that doctor being all crazy doctor and everything like that. So
okay,
I'm not sure where CIG is going, because that's new to me from a CIG standpoint.
Okay.
So I think they're probably going to capitalize that on somehow. I don't know how, but yeah, I think that's going to come back somehow.
Okay. I wonder, I've heard 2 theories. One theory I've heard is there's going to be some type of boss at the end. That'd be interesting, right? If you've got the whole the doctor's crazy and created something. I don't know what that boss could be. Like, how earlier it was the big worm, right? So some type of boss. And I'm not going to say what that boss is. I'm just saying some type of something. There are others who feel that there's going to be some type of resolution as to what's going on with the regen crisis at that point. That might come out of this too. Melville has said radioactive zombies. Okay. That'd be interesting.
I like Citizen Kill Wars. You said coming up on the Day of the Devourer. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that is true. Day of the Devourer is coming up. That is coming up. Death of a Spaceman finally starts. That would be something, The Prisoner. I mean, we are dealing with the whole idea of regenning, right? And this whole idea of, should I say it, fastcart? I've died 1,000 times, right? I mean,
No, you should not have said that. Well, you should not have said that.
It could all pull together. Now, I have my own theory about it, and Kimmy is kind of going that direction. And some of you all know the lore, right? You guys know that the regen technology is tied into the Vandal. And so there is that question. Now, maybe some people didn't get it when you guys look at that trailer at the very end. There's a glaive or a blade that's got all the cables and wires hanging off. And we've talked about this in our chat with some of the folks. Whether there will be some revelation in relation to the Vandal or the technology is going to be interesting too. But I actually like Prisoner. I like your way you think. I like the way you think. I really do hope that this becomes the entree into how we start dealing with life and death. And this regen crisis thing will maybe start. Imagine, fastcart. Imagine if this moves us from being healed and brought back with no cost, no consequence, to now we start implementing cost and consequence to dying. It would be really interesting.
So what you're saying is we're going to have to recreate our character after a certain amount of death. In an alpha?
May not be that. Maybe it doesn't make a difference with alpha. You got to test it at some point. You're not going to wait till the game that comes out to start testing it.
True.
So it may be just nothing more than the fact that you got to start paying insurance. You got all these people standing in the hospital screaming, right?
Oh, okay.
Now we got to start paying insurance money, or maybe the resource drive thing comes up. Maybe there's a thing that comes out of the resource drive that now we got to pay for a certain chemical that we have to use. And remember, we were talking about the sneak peek last week with the machine with the cards in it and stuff.
Right.
I mean, maybe all this stuff, maybe the Prisoner's right. Maybe this is all starting to bring these elements together that are going to start to bring greater value to living. Mm-hmm.
My fear is what Danger Hobo said. You die. Enter a new player name. That's my fear.
Yeah, Danger Hobo. You're setting the world on fire with that one. You are setting the world on fire with that one. I'm not going to even touch that. I don't know if everybody's ready for that one. I mean, there are some.
No one's ready for that.
No, not true. There are some people that are like, bring it on. We're ready. We've been waiting on this for a long time. But I'm just saying, I don't know if everybody's ready for that. Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and move forward here. Let's move on to our next category, which is mission events. Why don't you read that one, please?
Mission pickup on location, enabling new missions to be discovered and added to the journals when you approach or enter a designated area. Oh, okay, so like you get a pop when you enter a new area, you discover this location.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is that right now we're reliant on the Mobiglass, right? And quite often you'll visit locations like right now. This happened to me the other day too. I wanted to do the repair missions. And the only way for me to get the repair mission was I had to go to Bloom. And when I got down there, I checked my Mobi and then there was a mission there for me, right? But I still had to kind of do that. But now I like the idea that you could be just wandering, without any purpose, and some type of mission thing could pop up, right? That because you're there. I'm curious as to whether or not this is going to be dynamic, right? In other words, I might go there and I get a mission, but you go there and there is no mission. You see what I'm saying? I don't want it to be something that if I go there, I know the mission is going to pop up, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You want something more dynamic.
Yeah, well, like if I walk this way between these two buildings, a mission pops up. I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want it to literally be something that just could or could not happen, right? And that way it challenges me also a little different way. Mm-hmm. What are you going to say?
I think so. Like, but this won't happen. This is not for 4.0 or 4.31 because everyone is wearing a helmet because you want to be safe. You don't want to be shot in the head or whatever. But in the future, what if you're not wearing a helmet and you wander into a location? You're on like someplace like Terra or Casper or someplace, and you wander into a mission, but you don't have a helmet on. Will you still be able to see the mission pop up, or?
That's a good question.
Some people will say that that's immersion breaking because I'm not wearing a helmet, so I don't have the AR.
That's
But,
a good. Well, to your point, there's a fix for that, right? And the fix,
the lens, yeah.
Yep, exactly. But to your point, that's why something like that is needed, right? That's why something like that is important. And what fastcart's talking about, for those of you who don't remember or know, there are these AR lenses that we're supposed to be able to buy down at the Apple store at Microtech, right? You go downstairs, you'll see the contact lenses. That's what I always call the Apple
Not
store.
Sponsored.
Yeah, right. There's the contact lenses down there, which are AR lenses. And so what fastcart is saying is that you're supposed to be able to get information through those as well. And that will be your alternative. If I don't have a helmet on, have those lenses in, something comes up, I get notified of what's going on. The CIG has made it clear that they want to move a lot of things away from the Moby glass. So to fastcart's point, they do have to create, well, how do we get information? I don't want to wear armor all the time. I want to wear, if I'm wearing casual clothes, if I'm sitting in a restaurant and something pops up, how do I become notified about something? And that is one of the ways that CIG could structure it so that you can get messages and information.
Yeah, you answered my question for me. I forgot all about the lens until you reminded me.
Yeah, well, you remembered. Yep, you remembered. There's a lot of stuff to remember. There's a lot of stuff to forget too, right? Okay, well, that was mission events. Our next one, this is kind of something we touched on a little bit last week, was in the category of ships and vehicles. One of the things that was implemented was the light fighter, the Kruger L-21 Wolf, a classic built for the 20th century. Classic referring to this design, right? What are your thoughts?
Century.
Yeah, 30th century. What are your thoughts about the Wolf now that you've had some time to fly it and check it out? Check it out.
I flew it once, like I said. I think I said it last week, but yeah, I flew it once. It's a cool flight. I didn't do any combat with it, but the flight is pretty smooth. It's unfinished, but they're working on finishing it soon, Tim. But I didn't mess with it or that. But it's a good fly.
Okay. Yeah,
I flew it outside. I flew it outside of atmosphere. I flew it in space. So
in space,
probably different.
Yeah, I've flown it both in space. It was a breeze to fly. In atmosphere, it definitely. I mentioned this last week. It's a light fighter, but it's not a medium fighter. It just feels a little heavier than when I fly ships like the Arrow. Or even the Gladius. And mind you, it's a bulkier ship. I mean, it's not small like the Arrow either. So that's understandable. But it just feels a little bit heavier, but it's not a medium. I wouldn't say it's a medium fighter. It just feels a little more sluggish, but not in a bad way. It just a different weight. And CIG does want ships to all feel differently. We don't want all, even if it's a light fighter, 3 light fighters. I know there are some people who say make all 3 of them feel the same. I actually, yeah, I want them to feel a little different. I don't want it to cross the line, though, but I do want them to kind of have their own feel, and that takes a lot to do. Right? I understand why people want everything to be uniform, but I do like the fact that they feel a little different.
For me personally, out of the 3 between maneuverability, speed, and firepower, well, I would add durability too. I would want durability and firepower for me, and maybe some speed, but maneuverability. I'm not an agile fight player. That's not me.
Yeah. One of the things I think that we all forget about, including myself, is that fighters. A lot of times when we see things in relation to military fighting or using fighters, it's done in squadrons. It's done with a wingman, right? It's not solo. And a lot of times when we're using fighters, we're solo playing with fighters, right? You don't have a lot of people that, FC, you say, I'm going to take this guy and I'm like, I'm on your wing. You know what I mean? I'm behind you. When we do that type of gameplay, it allows us to structure how much ammunition you were using, right? Coordination and things of that nature, right? If two of us are shooting at this guy, that's 50% of the ammo that you're using, right? When you're out there shooting by yourself and it's all ballistic, you're panicking about running out of ammo, right? Now I did a couple PvE missions with the wolf, and I only used not even a quarter of my ammo killing them. Okay. But I was aware of my ammo limitation, and I made sure that I was in tight and making sure that I was hitting, right? I wasn't spraying. So to me, sometimes it's tactical, and it's just, maybe I was lucky too. That might have been it too, right? I might have been just lucky. But I think that, a lot of times people worry about ballistic ammo and worry about it. I think that if you're pairing up with people, if there's 2 or 3 of you that are fighting against something, it's way better. I know we have a tendency to everybody takes an enemy and goes after them and splits up.
Right.
But that's not tactically good if you think about it.
No,
but that's what we do as gamers, right? So, I think there are ways to work around it. Basically, that's all I'm saying. I think there are ways to work around it.
Back in the day when I played X-Wing or TIE Fighter, you could assign different target to your wing. So, but I tried doing that, and started saying, people say, fastcart, stop doing that. It's annoying.
Fair enough.
I got yelled at.
Fair enough. Okay. That's the L-21 Wolf. Here's something that I'm not familiar enough with to talk about. Other than what people have said, the Wicklow special ships that have been added. They added the following. Why don't you read this one? Because I read the last one. This one's on you.
Okay. So Wicklow special ship 1.30, adding the following special ship to Wicklow's Imperium: Mr. Lance Attack, Golem, Anvil Trap, and Medic, with upgraded components and a unique base livery. These rewards can be unlocked by completing Wicklow's contract.
Okay. And people have been really excited about these because the Wicklow ships not only have their own paint design or livery, but they also have their own different loadouts, which people have been really excited about. But it's also been frustrating for people because I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were people during the last patch who got Wicklow ships, and then when we got the new patch, their ships got wiped. They lost some of those ships, after doing a lot of work to get to the point of getting them. So there's been a little bit of frustration with people pursuing these ships because their concern is whether or not it's going to stay in their hangar, after doing all the work.
I bought a raft using AUEC. I didn't have it in the right place during the patch, so I lost it. So that's 3.7 million, 3.5 million AUEC that gone down the drain. So I feel people. That's one of the reasons why I say I'm waiting. I want to wait, but alpha.
Yeah, and it is part of the alpha game, when we lose stuff. And I know it's difficult because they put in a lot of hours and work to get some of these things. But that's the kind of those things, right? That it can happen. And it's unfortunate that it does. But hopefully this will get locked down a little bit better and folks won't have to worry about losing their ships. How did you lose your raft? You didn't store it in your thing?
I didn't. I was based in Orson, and I was in Hurston or someplace with a patch hit. I didn't think about it.
Oh, okay. So that's not alpha then. That's fastcart is what you mean.
I didn't know. Okay, fine.
No, I'm just saying. You didn't know to store it at your base is what I'm saying, in your inventory.
Yeah, I didn't know to store it at my base.
Okay. Well, you said it's alpha. I'm like, that ain't alpha. That's because you didn't put it in your base. But okay.
I mean, one photo hit. You're based in Terra or someplace, but you're in Stanton, and 1.1 hit, and you lose your ship. Come on.
Okay. So everybody. Okay. So you didn't know it, but most of us know that before a patch goes, save your stuff in your inventory at your base, because that's how you protect it. Because it will go if you don't do it. And the people were doing that because of components that they would get and a whole lot of other stuff too. So now you know. Just make sure you store it. And sometimes even when you do that, it don't come back. Yeah, sometimes it don't. Sometimes it's still like then it is alpha, because there are some times where people did store their stuff.
That's true.
And it disappeared. Okay. Let's see. The next one is, we had heard a little bit about this, ship flight tuning changes for light fighters. Updates on light fighters and the Gladius, the Arrow, the Hawk, the Banu Defender, the Talon, the Blade, the Cartual, the Mustang, SCM and nav speeds, accelerations, and angular speeds. there was some reworking on several of these ships, on all these ships, in fact. There was some tweaking that has been done. And I heard people, for the most part, it was okay. I didn't hear a lot of hollering about too much of it. I know that there were some ships where some things were kind of pulled back a little bit. I know the Talon was impacted because the Talon, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Talon has started to become like the ship to go out there and do stuff with for a little bit. It was a little bit, not OP, but it was kind of really out there. And I think they kind of...
It was meta.
Yeah, it was meta. So they kind of clipped the wings on it a little bit, but not to the point where it's unusable, from my understanding. I know I've been flying the Cartual, and I flew I know I took the Cartual out and I did some combat in it, and it felt really good doing it. I know a lot of people don't like that ship because the profile on it is so big, but I love that ship. If you set it up the right way, it's really good, but of course you got to be careful in it. Do you own any of these ships, fastcart? You own a Gladius, right, or no?
Well, I do have the Gladius, yes.
Okay.
And the Banner Defender.
Okay. And a Defender. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, wait, it's funny. They put the Banner Defender. Is the Banner Defender a light fighter?
It's always been a light fighter. It's expensive. It's $220, but it's a light fighter.
I don't know. Wow. For some reason in my head, I kept thinking that was a medium. I always thought it was a medium fighter. I always thought it was medium. Okay, man, that's kind of weird. As a light fighter? Okay. All right. Almost says
two people.
Medium. He says Medium. I don't know. I don't know if he's saying it's supposed to be medium or something else. I don't know, but I thought the Defender was medium.
I think that's a typo.
Okay.
That's a typo.
It was light. Bluesy says it was light. Wow.
Okay, let me look it up.
Big freaking monster ship, all that metal and stuff on that thing. That's amazing. Okay. Hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is.
Right now. Maybe I'm wrong. I believe it's light.
No, Bluesy said it was light too.
Yeah, it's a light fighter.
I just assumed it was a medium fighter. I didn't say I saw it as. I just assumed it was. You would think so. The changes bespoke, with them big old weapons on it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Bluesy said. Yeah, almost says it's medium. He's still saying it's medium. Well, you gotta take that up with the website. Then I don't know. But,
you gotta take that up with CIG.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's see. What do we got next?
Timmy has a point. Banu are taller than humans. They're bigger than humans.
Yeah, which means that ship should be heavier if that's the case. That's my point. I can see that ship being a light fighter. That big old ship.
No, it's light for a Banu, so that's why they label it as light. But to us, it may be medium.
You really stretching that one. All I know is that ship is bigger. That ship is bigger than my Saber Comet. And a Saber Comet is medium. That's all I'm saying. The size of that thing, I would think it. Listen, I'm not. If they say it's light, that's fine with me. I'm just saying I never flew that ship.
I don't think it's based on size. I think it's based on armament and protection.
Yeah, but them things got the freaking guns on that thing. That thing.
The Tachyon.
Yeah.
They're not that big though, are they?
It's not that they're big, it's the damage that they do. But again, it is what it is. Hey, listen, I don't care. They can call it whatever they want to call it. It's fine. I was just saying I thought it was medium. That's all I was saying. Okay. All right, let's hit our next point here. This one's on you. How about that one? Or this is on me, right?
Apollo.
Or this is on you or me? This is on.
It's me. I think it's me.
Maybe you.
Hmm? Also, Apollo Triad, implementing the Apollo Triad from Marvel Space Industries.
Okay. Yeah, we might as well do the other one too. Go ahead and do the other one.
Okay. Let me scroll down real quick.
Well,
Apollo Medevac, implementing the Apollo Medevac from Marvel Space Industries, now with superior armor and dual missile rack for deployment on intense battlefield.
Okay. So now I got a question for you. Everybody's been hearing about the Apollo. Everybody's been talking about the Apollo. Blah, 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 blah. And we know that medical gameplay, again, got nerfed earlier this year. And now, just recently, like a week ago, CIG put out a whole not a new thing, but they did an updated version of the medical map telling you about the different pins and this and tier 1, tier 2. And they're only doing that because evidently something's getting ready to come up with medical. Okay. So CIG announces this ship is coming out and we're going to get it in September. They talk about the fact that the drone development that was highlighted when the ship came out is not there right now. That they're putting it in the ship. But the tech's not there yet. And so the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 bays, which we knew was part of the ship, CIG says because we haven't gotten the drone stuff developed yet and we're not there, we're going to go ahead and do the tier 1, 2, 3 beds, and we're also going to include that in with the ship instead of you guys having to buy these separate modules or whatever. And they said not only if you own one, but if you buy one later, that will still be a part of your purchase, that you'll get all of that stuff. Now, my question to you is, for some people, they've wondered if this drone thing is a deal breaker for them, because that was something that they were looking forward to being able to do. I didn't hear CIG say that they're not doing it. I heard CIG say that it wasn't going to be in when the ship comes out.
It came out.
But correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if I missed something, because there were some people who were talking about they weren't happy because they felt like CIG was dropping that game mechanic. Is that the position you got, or did you hear something different? Or
I feel like they're working on it. It'll come out when it comes out, but it won't be out when the Apollo drops.
Okay. All right.
That's what I got.
Okay. All right. GQ says, yeah, that's correct. That they said not yet. Okay. All right. Again, do you think that, back to that original question, is something going to change with medical, or are we just getting a ship?
I think something will change with medical. Don't ask me what. I think something will change. I don't have any idea what.
Will it change?
It could be something as small as, like, you know how the Earth's medevac has a range. It could be something as small as just changing the range.
Okay. Will something happen? Okay, let's assume that something's going to happen with medical.
Okay.
Will it happen with the launching of the ship, or will it happen at CitizenCon?
I think with the launching of the ship, or whatever patch the ship comes in.
Okay. All right.
I think because why do it otherwise? It would just be harder on CIG to implement it. Like, okay, we put out a pack, but we're not going to do the change until the ship is released. Yeah, I don't see them doing that.
Okay. I see 3 scenarios. Scenario 1,
okay.
You're right. Something changes when the ship comes out with the patch, right? Because they're going to be launching that new chapter of the regen thing, right? So that gives an opportunity to introduce all of it at one time, right? Or the ship comes out, everybody uses the Apollo now, right? With whatever's going on, the way medical is now.
Okay.
But then a couple weeks later at SitCon, they demonstrate where medical's going, and they implement it then.
They can do both anyway. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you already introduced it in the game, there's no reason to make a big presentation for it at the thing, because people are already doing it. Okay.
All right.
But it also depends on when the ship launches too, right? Because we don't know when that's going to drop. They say September, right?
They say September. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. TM.
Right. So they could drop the ship, but maybe the mechanic's not ready for CitizenCon is my point, right? The mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But they could, to your point, do mechanic and ship in September, which would be interesting. Okay.
Where's the Avocado with the pack currently? Do you know?
They're not. They've been doing the tech.
Okay.
They've been doing the tech preview stuff. I don't. If there's any Evos in there, anybody knows. Evo hasn't done anything on 4.3.1 yet, have they, guys? Or is it just that tech preview stuff they've been doing?
I thought they had, but maybe I'm missing.
Had they? Maybe they have, and I missed it. I know they were trying to get that tech preview crap together, and that was like a real headache.
About 2,500 players in one server.
But that was that was the tech preview crap that they were doing. Okay. Nobody said anything yet, so I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, but okay. Okay, no problem. No worries. That's a good point. So those are the 2 ships. As you guys know, the differences in these is that the triage has a little bit more speed. They both have the same bid complements and all that stuff. Nothing changes there. But the medevac has more armor, and it has another. I think guns are different. The weapons are dual missile racks. Yeah, the guns and stuff. It's just built more for going into the field. Yeah, in different color, and going into the field more than anything. Okay. Do you own one of these? Are you interested in any of these? Nope. Medical's not your thing, right?
Not my thing. Nope. Sorry.
Okay. Now,
I think they look cool. I mean, they look like they have a Star Trek feel with the nacelles and everything like that. I like the look of it, but I'm not getting planning on getting adding to my
all
feet
right.
or anything.
So now one more question. I know we're going to move past this one, guys. I'll make it real quick. Every time something happens with medical, there's always this thing that people start melting or they start doing stuff, right? So back in the early days, we had the Cuddy Red, right? Then the Pisces came out. People melted the Cuddy Reds, got Pisces, right? Then the Pisces, no. Some people kept the Pisces in there, but then the Cuddy Red stopped regenerating people. So then people melted their Cuddy Reds and got Pisces. Then the Ursa came out because the Ursa said, you're going to come back to life 1,000 times. And then CIG comes back. Then they re-implemented resurrecting back in. So then people unmelted their Cuddy Reds. But okay, so there's always this back and forthing thing. Do you think that people need to get this ship? I mean, the Apollo's a bigger version of the Terrapin. I mean, even the Terrapin came out and people, got that. There are people who wanted that med bed that resurrects people. People got their Carrack because they have a med bed. People want the 600i rework because they're going to have a med bed. Do you think this ship is for everybody? Or is this really a dedicated medical ship? Like dedicated?
I think it's dedicated. Yeah, I mean, if you're into medical gameplay, hold on. Let me look at the price of it real quick. I'm curious. So Apollo, be spell it right. The triage is 250 and the medevac is 275. So that's pretty reasonable.
That's what it is, right? That's what it is right now. It's about to change.
It's going to go up and it comes
It's going to go up to three. It's going up to 300 and 350. Yeah, something like that. Probably it's going to go up.
I'm going to say 300 and 325.
Is it $25 difference right now? Is it $25 difference right now?
Yeah.
I could see them doing 350, but I'll go with you. I'll go with your 325. I'll go with 325.
Oh, maybe 325, 350. You want to go? I'll say 300, 325. You say 325, 350.
325 is almost a $75 difference in price.
$75. They've done it before. They've done it before.
Yeah,
$75 difference. Yeah. You're saying $50?
Okay, I'll agree with you. Somewhere between $3 and $350, the total price. Right. Somewhere between for both of them. 325 and 350, or 300 and 325, or 300 and 350. But I don't think it'll exceed 350. If they keep it at like within $25 where it is right now, I'll be totally shocked. It isn't the first time the CIG went lower than we thought and surprised us. You know what I mean? They've done that before, so we'll see. But for the scale of this ship and the size of it,
as far as the question goes, I don't think this is a ship for everyone. No, I mean, yeah, I don't think it is a ship for everyone.
Okay.
I don't know how popular it'll be, so I have no clue about that.
I think
it's an upgrade from the Cuddy Red, definitely that. So
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be people who are hungry for that tier 1 bed, and they're going to buy it because of that, not because of medical gameplay. They're going to buy it for that freaking tier 1 bed, and I'm concerned about what medical gameplay is going to look like. I think there are going to be reasons why you want a tier 2 and a tier 3 and a tier 1. I don't think it's going to be the tier 1 as a meta. I think there's going to be a cost to tier 1 betting, but we'll have to see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Let's move on. We're almost there.
Yep.
All right, weapons and items this time. Introducing a powerful new weapon that combines the raw punch of a charged sniper shot with the rapid-fire precision of a marksman's rifle. The Zenith sniper rifle's ability to automatically charge when held, giving you far more flexibility in the battlefield at the cost of being audible to possible hostiles. Managing heat is, however, crucial, as overheating renders the weapon temporarily inoperable, leaving players exposed to enemy fire.
That last part turns me off. I'm not gonna get it just because of the last part.
Well,
I'm the type of person to hold down the thing.
Well, let me ask you.
Hold down the trigger.
Well, let me ask you a question though. Are you into sniper rifles? Because some people aren't. You know what I mean? Like they don't even deal with them.
Yeah, I've been into sniper rifles since Mass Effect.
Okay, all right. So you would. Okay. Interesting. Now, I don't own this one, but I know I talked to a couple people who have them, and they say they really like it. You just have to make sure you manage that heat thing, the overheat thing on it.
Thing, yeah. Right.
But I have not seen this one yet. I know it's new in the game. I've had the regular rifle, and I've had the SMG, and I've had the pistol, but I have not. I've had the shotgun, but I haven't seen this one yet.
I'm gonna have to clarify. If it depends on how much damage it do. If it's something I can manage.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a lot of damage. I mean, it would have to do a lot of damage because that trade-off because temporary inoperability. Yeah, so I can see that. But if it does a lot of damage, maybe I have to see.
Okay. All right. Why don't you take on the next one, the LMG?
The LMG Fresno. Hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Mm-hmm.
Introducing the Volt Heavy Hitter, a machine gun that ramps up the punishment as it heats up, creating rate of fire for wall stopping power. As it nears peak overheat, it unleashes searing an energy blast capable of tearing through hostile forces with terrifying efficiency, featuring a heavy reload time, but with a high-capacity magazine.
Okay. These Volt Wipe rifles have been really popular. People seem to really like. I mean, whether it's the Volt pistol or all the way up to this sniper rifle. People seem to really like these. Now, I don't know if it's because they like the flash of it. Pardon the expression, y'all. I don't know if it's that they like the flash of it, or the fact of, how destructive these weapons are. They are pretty powerful weapons. And I haven't traded off to them completely. I've done some missions sometimes with some people, and they automatically bring these weapons with them. There are times when I've gone down to Hathor and I don't bring one with me. I'll bring regular weapons, but when I do run into the weapons cache where these are, I usually will grab a few of them and take them with me, throw them in my backpack as to go. But they are powerful weapons, and very popular right now. I don't know if they're considered meta or not. I just know that people like them, and they're cool.
Yeah,
they're cool. Yeah.
They're new hotness.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they are. They're new. They're very different. So that one is the rifle, the sniper rifle. I forgot to change the graphics. And that is the Fresno, the LMG.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rounds are on this one, though. These guns also kind of have good amounts of ammo loads on them, too. They don't run short on you too much. I have yet to use the pistol in combat, but it seems to be a really powerful pistol, too. The Volt pistol seems to be pretty cool, pretty nice. Okay. Let's see. Axis says, I love that gun. Okay. And yeah, okay. One shot kills Bluesy says. Okay, very cool. All right. Last but not least, this was an interesting one that came up that a lot of people were kind of wondering about. And it was a bearing laser cannon art refactor. They updated the bearing cannon's art style and geometry. I don't know what the reason was in this. I don't know if it was a design change to make it more distinctive, or whether there was something up with the design before, but the bearing guns have been in the game for the longest time. I don't know what prompted this particular one.
I was gonna say it could be anything. Like, could be they used too many polygons and they want to lower it because they had that one a nut or
yeah, but that was fastcart. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, how old is this gun?
But, okay, no.
How old is this gun?
Okay, no. But the difference is they changed the gun. It's not that they just did the polys. It's got a different design to it. You know what I mean? So maybe, don't get me wrong, the updating could be a process of that. With new tech and everything. You're absolutely right. They could be doing that, but they did also physically change the gun. And so that's why I'm saying I don't know what I'm wondering if they did it just to give it its own distinctive style, something that looks a little different than others. Because some of these, I don't know if you've ever walked past some of these guns. Sometimes you look at them and they all start to look the same a little bit, depending because they're very close.
What it is.
Exactly,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, but again, I don't know. But it says that they updated the geometry and the style on it. So.
Like you said, this is bearing, so that's a popular brand. So maybe they want to make it. I guess make it more distinct to make it stand out a bit from the other manufacturers. So maybe they because the design language for bearing is so old, and maybe they just felt like it had to be updated to bring it more up to date as compared to some of the other newer manufactured weapons that come in.
In a project for a new person, which And I'll recommend this when we get done. Don't let me forget to make the video recommendation when we get done. Okay, because I want to get to Q&A. I don't want to get too I don't want to get too far. I just had my stream go out. Is it still on? We lost the stream.
Oh, it's down. Oh, hold on, let me reload. It still says live.
Okay, there we go. It just popped back up. Yep. Did you guys lose us for a minute? Yeah. I just saw that we lost for a second. Yeah, I know Zabrock. I don't know, something goofy with, Twitch does this once in a while. It kind of loses its mind, but we are still here. Thanks for sticking around, gang. I'll take a second for everybody to get.
It's time to go.
Yeah, right. It always happens at the end of the show too. You notice that's like, all right, when we're at the last 5 minutes, it decides to do that. Yeah, it's always Twitch. Yeah, YouTube always ends up staying up. It's always Twitch that for some reason we get like in that last 30 minutes of the show and it just decides to say, nope, we're going to cut you off for a minute and come back on. So thanks, Bluesy. Yeah, see you next week. No, we're still here. Okay. All right. That was
just type and refresh so people know.
Yeah, really.
Type and refresh.
Yep. We're still here.
There we go. We're still here. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. All right. Do we have a question? I thought we had somebody drop a question in earlier.
Some of them were questions, some of them were comments. Well, hold on.
Okay, sure.
Oh yeah, this is just a comment. This is just a comment. So
okay.
Just a comment. I saw other question.
Okay. What does it say?
Well, I mean, it just said, "Wow, nice seeing you guys." Recon, yeah, it just said, "Nice seeing you guys."
Okay, cool. Well, who was it? Yeah. Recon Rod. Okay, Recon Rod.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate that. Yes, everybody's back. They're slowly coming back. Okay. The video I was going to share with you guys is it was in our general chat, and I watched this earlier this weekend, and Fist to Face posted it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I double post Fist to Face. No, I'm messing with you.
I know he posted it. Oh, here it is. Okay, there is a video that was put out by a guy named Ryu with the Blender Brothers. And this is the video. Let me put I'm gonna put the title in here with it too, because I don't want to. If you haven't seen this video, that's the title. And this is the link. You guys check that video out when you get time. This guy does some stuff in Blender, and he goes through 50 ships in Star Citizen to show you the amount of work that's involved in going in this. And this guy teaches and instructs in Blender, and I think you will get some cool insights from his perspective. He's somebody who's outside of the Star Citizen community, talking about the hard work that it takes to make these ships. And it definitely reminded me and gave me an appreciation of how much work is being done. And I'm only mentioning this because someone had mentioned a few minutes ago that maybe the gun was given to somebody for them to learn how to, as a project, a new person coming on board, a new dev. But again, when you get a chance, check out that video. It's a really, 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 really good video, and you'll recognize some of the stuff that's in there. And it's funny, we see stuff in white box, and a lot of us aren't impressed, or gray box. We see it, and it's like, okay, yeah, that looks good. But this guy's like literally just blown away by what Cloud Imperium has done as far as their work on ships goes, and he talks about the type of work, time, effort, energy it takes to be able to make the ships that we fly every day. And to be honest with you, that I completely sometimes forget the level of work that's gone into them. So check it out when you get time. It's very, 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 very good. Okay. All right, let's talk about what we got coming up. FC. Let's jump into it. Next week, without fastcart once again. I've got to put my friend in here because I cannot close the show out without his lovely face being in here. Next Sunday, we are doing a show called You Better Work. You Better Work. And it is called You Better Work because in Star Citizen, you better work. As we get further and further into this thing right now, we've been earning our money by doing trade. We've been earning our money by doing freight and cargo. We've been earning money by doing mercenary missions and doing bounty hunting missions. But if you look at everything that you see on the screen there, I had fun doing this, actually. I had my own little fashion show in my hangar. I brought out some suits that we don't really use, and CIG has been giving us recently. So there is the hazardous suit that you see there on the left, which we've had for a little bit of time, but that's the new hazard suit. There's the security uniforms. There is the new ASD fire resistant outfit. And then there's the worker outfit that we saw with the engineering videos that came out a little while back. And, you know, as we know, CIG says that when they put things in the game, they're supposed to have some type of meaning. And though a lot of times clothing is done for cosmetics in a lot of games, CIG really wants to make clothing relevant and important. And there'll be reasons why we will wear certain things. Fastcart, I don't expect you to go put a, you know, go fix a pipe wearing your flight suit. You know, your flight suit doesn't have certain things on it, you know, or whatever. If you're refining, you know, what should you be wearing? Do you need to put on a certain thing when you're doing refinery work? If you go into a hazardous waste area, do you need to put on a certain thing that maybe your flight suit or your armor would get damaged or you'll lose? So next week, we're going to be talking about what are some of the different careers that maybe we'll be doing in the game. For those of you who maybe aren't into PvE combat, we're going to be talking about medical, all these other things that may be available to you in the Star Citizen universe, or that we hope will be available to us in the Star Citizen universe. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that on next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. FC, you got anything? Anything you want to close us out with? Anything coming up? Are you doing any broadcasts, or is things quiet on the Western Front right now?
Things are quiet on the Eastern Front. I haven't done playthrough this month. I'll probably pick it back up in September. So yeah.
Okay.
But then I did do a best of playthrough back in August. You can check that out on the People's Radio. Yeah, the People's Radio Twitch, or you can find it on their Mr. Cloud server. But Twitch is I'm sorry, Twitter or X or Blue Sky probably easier to find the link.
Okay. All right. Best of Flights of Rhythm. You guys make sure you guys check that out. It's good stuff. Fastcart knows what he's doing. Volume 2. Volume 2. All righty. Well, we are getting ready to close things out. We hope you guys enjoyed our conversation today. Were you going to say something?
And I looked up 2 people for you to choose from. So
yeah, I see. I'm just trying to get myself together over here. I have too many windows open. We haven't done Gabs in a while, so we'll do Gabs. Oh,
yeah, she's live on that one.
Righty. All right, gang, we are going to send you over to Gabs. She is streaming Star Citizen. Well, she's talking right now. I don't see her streaming the game, but I'm hoping she's loading. Is she just talking, or is she playing the game? I don't know what she's doing. But she says she's
that's why I got it from Star Citizen. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm looking at her. She's sitting in her living room right now. So I think she's going to be doing an Onyx mission, because that's what she has for her title. So when you guys get over with Gabs, let her know that you came over from the Soul Citizens. Once again, I want to say thank you to Fastcart for being here. Thank you to everyone who subbed, our followers. Thank you for everybody who hung around throughout the show. Hope you guys are having a good time in 4.3. I hope you guys are ready for the Apollo next month. And next month, we'll be getting ready to talk about CitizenCon 2, which is only a couple weeks away. We're going to be doing our own watch party, by the way, for that. So we'll put more information out during the month of September. So if you guys want to join us in our Discord on that day, on October the 11th, you are always more than welcome to join us if you don't have a home or an org that you want to hang out with. So that's about it.
I think for the first-time chatters, too. So
yes, absolutely. YouTube, we love you. Thank you. By the way, we did a new producers episode. It is going to go out tonight. You probably, guys, if you're a subscriber on Patreon or YouTube, you'll see it tonight, tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll come out on Tuesday for everybody else. And I think that's it. As always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And peace, love, soul. We'll see you soon. Ciao.